Yo, yo. Hello, guys. How are y'all doing? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sam Hussein. You guys are watching. I don't know, say. Yeah, no shit. Um, yeah, so today we're gonna talk about what's next for Jake Paul. Um, Jake Paul last month beated Andre August. Not just beated him, but actually knocked him out cold in the first round. Um, so what's next for Jake? I don't know. He's fighting again in March 2nd, which is very good. And again, after I would say like 4 years or 3 years, he is finally fighting in a co-main event. Uh, uh Under like a Amanda Serrano fight. So yeah, and if you don't know, like the last time Jake, the last time when Jake fought anybody in So yeah, anyways, so the last time Jake fought in a co-main event was against the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Um, yeah, so that's when he knocked out Nate Robinson. Yes, Nate Robinson. Um, so it's been a while since he like I don't know since he fought someone in co-main event. So what's next for Jake? To be honest, I don't really know what's next for him, but obviously, I said like Vidal Riley, um, Vidal Riley could be next. Tommy Fury rematch could be next. KSI is next. I think that's the most three fights he can take. Uh, I know a lot of people would say like Niraj Goyat, and it's so stupid. Like recently in Jake's like reels comment section, all the comment is like Niraj Goyat, fight Niraj Goyat. This motherfucking Indians are so fucking dumb. They don't know how boxing works. Like these motherfuckers, they don't have any idea how boxing works. Niraj Goyat is like 150 pounds. Jake Paul is 200 pounds. There's literally 50 pounds difference about them. And these motherfuckers are saying to fight Jake Paul to fight Niraj Goyat. There's no way that fight is happening. Their weight is 50% different. So what 50 pounds difference? Wait, that's a huge different weight. I know a lot of these motherfuckers haven't even seen one boxing match in their life. Like it's so dumb. No, he can fight Niraj because Niraj is paperweight, and yeah. So the thing is, if Niraj was around Jake's weight, Jake would beat him and embarrass him in front of the world. Not just beat him, he would destroy Niraj. To be honest, I don't really know Niraj. I don't know Niraj. Like who is he? He's a like Indian boxer. No, so that fight isn't happening. Like y'all are stupid as fuck. So yeah, I yeah, I think the fight of Niraj has enough. The Niraj fight would definitely sell way more than the Andre August fight, and I know that, and it would do millions of views, like Jake Paul versus Indian boxer, or one of the best Indian boxer. Like it would sell. I'm not saying it would sell. I'm not one of those people who are saying like it wouldn't sell. It would sell. It would sell far better than Jake versus Andre August. But the problem is the weight. The weight is the problem. So yeah, he's not fighting Niraj. Like, and in front of me, I think there's three people that just comes into mind, and those people are Vidal Riley, Tommy Fury rematch, and KSI. If I was Jake Paul, I would try to do the KSI match first because KSI talks a lot, and I would love to see Jake just shutting him up first. So if not KSI, the fight, if not the KSI fight is possible, I would then take. I think I would then take the Tommy Fury rematch because it literally has more story. Like Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and if he comes in the rematch and knocks out Tommy Fury, it would be great. Um, so yeah, and then the last fight would be Vidal Riley, and I don't really have anything else in my mind who can fight Jake Paul. A lot of people think Floyd Mayweather fight, but again, Jake's weight and Floyd's weight is not. It's very different, and Jake is not fighting anyone in exhibition. Jake Paul said he doesn't do exhibition fights. Ex- So yes, Floyd and Jake's weight is very different. Different. So that fight is not happening. The only way that fight happens is if the fight is exhibition. And Jake Paul said in the poem video of Floyd Mayweather poem video, which is like 3 years ago, that he is not fighting exhibition. So we know Jake Paul won't fight exhibition because he said it himself. So that fight is not happening, and I don't really see anybody like fighting specifically Jake more than these three people. Obviously KSI because they're 6 years beef of the them and KSI, and obviously Vidal Riley because Vidal Riley was KSI's trainer or coach. So if Jake Paul beats Vidal's ass, which he would, then the KSI fight doesn't really make sense, and it's such a ballsy move. Like imagine beating your best rival's friend or some shit like that. So best rivals coach, that's some badass shit. So that makes sense. And another things, Tommy Fury makes sense because he lost to Tommy Fury. Their story, he lost, and then he can go back and do his shit. Um. So yeah, this I don't see any fights making more sense. Comment down below if you know more fights that would make sense. Comment down below. Um. Yeah. To be honest, more MMA fighters. Maybe Jake Paul can fight Jorge Masvidal, but that really doesn't make any sense because Jake almost beated all the fucking MMA fighter in the roster, and there's actually nothing to prove actually anymore because the storyline is finished. Because when Jake Paul beat Ben Askren, everybody was like, "Oh, Ben Askren is a trash UFC fighter. What about a very good UFC fighter, or Jake Paul can beat a very good UFC fighter?" Then Jake fights Tyron Woodley and beats him both time. One time getting a majority win, and another time a knockout. So there's the question. I was like, oh, okay, so Jake did beat an average MMA fighter. So Jake beat a world champion MMA fighter. So Jake beats the 5 times UFC world champion. So that's done, and then it's like, oh, what's next? Oh, Anderson Silva, Hall of Famer of UFC, legend of UFC, yes. Uh, Better than Tyron Woodley, better boxer than Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, who beated a world champion boxer, way better than Tyron Woodley. Jake Paul fights him and beats him. And obviously, there's a lot of like hate situation. There's a lot of like keyboard warriors saying, "Oh, Anderson Silva is old, 47 or some shit like that." So it's doesn't matter. Anderson Silva is 47, but doesn't really matter because Anderson Silva is not an average 47-year-old. He is literally a UFC, one of the greatest UFC fighter of all time, and he is one of the best I would say the best UFC boxer of all time. So it's not just a 47-year-old; it's a serious killer, and Anderson Silva, and Jake Paul beats him pretty easily. And people are obviously keyboard warriors are there to like mock him or say this da da da. No, it's not fair. No, it's not good. Who cares? But Yeah, so there was a say, oh, Jake beat Tyrone. No, Anderson Silva. Okay, Jake beat Anderson Silva. Who's more badass? Nate Diaz, the most badass UFC fighter of all time. Jake beats him, and there's nothing, no any more questions about who. I think everybody's convinced that there's no MMA fighter can beat Jake Paul, and that's done. And I don't think any MMA fights make sense anymore. And a lot of people, yeah, Mike Tyson fight. So what about the Mike Tyson fight? Um, to be honest, I don't really see Mike Tyson fight happening. I don't really have a reason, but I do have a reason. I don't see Mike Tyson getting. I don't see Mike Tyson getting into the boxing ring again. I just don't see it, to be honest. Um, yeah, I don't see that fight happening. But if that fight happens, that would be one of the biggest fights of this decade, like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson. I know that sounds weird, but Mike Tyson is not 20 anymore or 19 anymore. This is a very old Mike Tyson, and Jake is great. I think he beats easily Mike Tyson, like easily. It's that's not even a. I don't. I'm not. I don't. That's not what. I'm not convinced that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is a close fight or competitive. Even I don't think that's a competitive fight. I think Jake Paul would destroy Mike Tyson. And another fight we have is another huge fight is Jake versus Logan Paul. And that fight would be huge. That fight would be biggest fight of the decade. I think that's even bigger than KSI versus Jake Paul, or that's even bigger than any fight in the world. But that's not happening because Jake said that he's not gonna fight his brother, so that is also closed. Um, yeah. So I think the video is done. I don't think I've covered everything. So I guess thanks for watching this video. Watch my old videos, watch my new videos. I make cool videos like this. Like, subscribe, comment, and share, and press the bell icon to see more videos like this. I'm happy to be alive. Anyways, stay healthy, stay happy, and yeah. To end the video, I want to say Jake is a very inspiration person to me, and Jake Paul is the reason why I started boxing, because I was like, it was at the point of like Jake Paul beating everybody. I'm like, this kid is very cool. He's knocking out everybody easily. Like, he's the coolest person alive. And I was like, oh, what he's doing boxing? Let's start it. Let's do this boxing thing. And yeah, this is the reason why I started boxing. So Jake Paul is very inspirational, very amazing dude, very humble, very. Oh, another thing I want to mention before ending the video is, um, Jake Paul. I was watching the recent. I watched the recent like uh Jake Paul's new fights promotions, which was pretty weird because the opponent was mystery and wasn't in the press conference. Only Jake was in the press conference. Uh, so I was watching, and Jake mentioned that he would donate his all purse to boxing charities for his next fight, which is very nice and very notable and very amazing, to be honest. To just see like Jake just giving to the whole boxing industry, it's very inspirational. It's inspirational, yes. Um, yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it, yes. Oh yeah, the thing I always say is Jake Paul doesn't need boxing. Jake Paul was rich, super famous before he started boxing. He doesn't really need boxing, or he doesn't really needs to do boxing. But he is doing boxing because he just wanted to do it, and boxing needs Jake Paul to survive. Jake Paul doesn't need boxing. So that's it. So I guess, yeah, stay healthy, stay happy. Thanks for watching this video, and bye bye.